when I get a flight, I just pour them all in one glass.
Oh, there you go. That's better. That's actually a better way.
That's coming to you basically live from the brewing floor at Liability Brewing Company on Stone Avenue in glorious downtown Greenville, South Carolina. I'm Russ Heaps, and welcome to this episode of Big John in 5, and that's where I get my good buddy over here on the other end of the barrel dais to Big John Richards to pick a beer. We sniff it, we sip it, we convince about it. John tells us a little bit about the brewery, which he's not going to get to do today because we got the head brewer with us. And we talk a little bit about the history of brewing occasionally. And actually, we've got between us here Jared Tuttle, who is the head brewer, and he picked out this mystery beer. And I call it a mystery beer because it doesn't have a label on it.
This isn't even a Big John in 5. I didn't even get to pick the beer.
Yeah, so this is a very unique experience for us, very special. And Jared, tell us a little bit about what it is we're going to open up and drink here.
Well, this is a stout that we brewed over 2 years ago. That sat in barrels for roughly 2 years. That we didn't touch. We almost kind of forgot about.
It's a long time, I was going to say.
And when it came down to actually bottling it, we were super excited. I think it's probably one of my favorite beers we pulled out of barrels. Not released yet. We're holding it out to our Sipmas. This is the barrel aged. Let me get it right. The Sound of Inevitability.
Oh yeah,
Sound of Inevitability.
We just did that beer at a tap takeover at the place where I bartend.
I recently remade it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man,
yeah, right.
Let's see if we can make it again. So hopefully at Sipness we'll have the 1 year aged and the 2 year aged, and people can enjoy it. But
Fun stuff.
Stop talking.
I'm excited.
Something my wife loves is when I open a beer at my wedding ring. Who's first? You're on my left.
Seems right.
No, it's
It's
left.
as good a reason as any.
Now this beer has been sitting in our beautiful cellar, so it's nice and room temp.
Perfect.
Which that really get all the flavors.
It's got a little bit of carbonation still left in it.
It does. The interesting part with being a 10-barrel brewery, and then we have one bourbon barrel, which is only 53 gallons.
Right.
Our carb stones are a little higher than that, so we had to come up with some ingenuity to try and figure out how to 50 gallons of beer when we needed 150.
Right.
Yeah. But I think it really helps with the character of the beer. Just there's not a lot there to hide. Just the carbonic acid sometimes can really get into.
Yes.
So you get the beer and the bourbon and everything that's in it.
Yeah.
So 2 years in Heavenly Hill?
Heavenly Hill? I think that's what she said.
Heavenly Hill. It's been so long.
Heavenly Hill or Heaven Hill?
Heavenly.
There is a Heavenly Hill?
Is it?
I think when you sat down, you said Heavenly Hill, but it might be Heaven Hill.
I've never-
He ran off camera before we started to go check. But
Yeah.
I saved the
there's
barrel.
still consternation.
I saved it. It's one of our tables where the brewers sit, and we only have a couple that we do that. And I'm like, this one's fine. I'm taking this one home. But cheers.
We'll figure out what it is, and Russ will put it on the bottom of the screen.
Text Miss Willie.
There's a lot of bourbon on the nose of that. There's a lot of chocolate on the nose of that too.
I'm just amazed that a beer can sit in a wood cask like this and not spoil.
Right.
What's the ABV on this?
Well, I just recently sent it off to the lab, but my guess is somewhere in the 11 to 13%.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it started out. The one you brought to us was 10.5, right?
Yeah, the
10.2.
We have it.
No.
Oh, excuse me.
The Sound of Inevitability.
Oh yes, the base. The base is right around 10.
Yeah.
They're right around there. And it started out as a very sweet stout, which is why I kind of didn't make it again. I really like those robust chocolate and roasty notes and whatnot. And whenever we pulled this out of the barrel, I was like, okay, we need to make that again. And so we have the base on tap right now, and it's a little sweeter, but you can see what 2 years can do.
Oh yeah. Well, this one that's on tap is I'm assuming the same one you brought to us, and that was such a good cocoa-y, chocolatey Imperial Stout that didn't get off into the wild territories of other things.
This is big chocolate. I mean, back here is chocolate for me, right back in that.
And I'm getting cherries up front. This feels like chocolate-covered cherries to me. It feels like cordials.
That's one of the beautiful things about berries, barrels. That you can get a lot of those kind of berry flavors, especially the deep, dark berries.
Right.
And the vanilla, I mean, the chocolate's a lot of that's coming from the beer, but the bourbon behind it makes it more sweet than bitter.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about this. I'm glad we get to drink it with you.
This is fun.
This is special. Nobody's
had this except for people on the staff. So y'all the first people in the public to actually drink this beer.
Look at that.
Looky here.
We're pioneers. We're pioneers.
Which leads me into like the beginning of December, the first week in December, we always do our Sithmas, and it's like our dark day. We're nerds, right?
Right.
So we love
There's Star Wars memorabilia all over this brewery. I mean, it's everywhere.
Yeah, and I got a little bit of my Trekkie influence out there too.
Yeah, right.
So we do Sithmas, and that's when we try and release some of the barrel-aged beers we really like, and I just cannot wait to put this out in the public. It's only in bottles and 1/6 for that day.
Wow.
So it's going to be very exclusive.
So look for it, guys.
That's my little pitch.
Yeah.
But it's been very hard for me not to take it home every day.
I didn't know you guys did something like that around Christmas.
Yeah. It kind of started as like our Christmas time period of like, what are we going to do? You want to have something where people come by. And then when we started calling it Sithmas, I started the barrel program about that same year. And the next year, I'm like, guys, it's got to be when we do all our big stuff.
Right. Yeah.
It's a creative bit of marketing.
We don't do a ton of events. We're in a really kind of small place, so you do a paid event or anything like that, it's really hard to get out. Parking's a nightmare.
Yeah.
But it's worth it if you can get parking on the side of the road and walk down.
Yeah.
So we do our Jester Fest, which happens in spring. We do a lot of fruity things. We do a fruit IPA, some really heavily fruited seltzers.
Sounds wonderful, but I'll pass on that.
I was surprised how many people liked the tangerine wombat and stuff. I was like, okay.
It took me like 2 years to get Russ to finish an IPA. I'm still working on sours.
And sours, that's another big part of the Jester Fest. Summertime, we have our anniversary, which is coming up very soon, and then Christmas time, the Sithmas. So we got the fruity, the everything in the middle, and then dark. It's nice.
Yeah.
But what do y'all think?
This is super fun. I was just about to say I'd love to get back to talking about this beer.
I am amazed at as big as the alcohol content is estimated to be. That it, it isn't that big raisiny, plummy thing you get with so many.
Gotcha.
It's very subtle. You've got some bourbon, a little bourbon there, but it's not crazy bourbon. It's that subtle. Everything's subtle. This is just a well-balanced.
Well, it's great that y'all call beer to whiskey, because whenever we started the barrel program, that was the
more good marketing.
Sometimes you just make a beer and put it in a barrel, and it could be great.
Yeah.
But when we started building this program, I would go out and I would buy the whiskey to taste it.
Yeah.
And then I would build the beer around the barrel. So even right now,
it's a pairing.
The beer that's on tap is not typically what I would make for a stout.
Yeah.
It's got some of that residual sugar that whenever you put it in a barrel, it ages well.
Yeah.
And it doesn't become a really thin bourbon bomb. So pretty much all of our barrel-aged beers come straight from the barrel. Very rarely do we blend a little bit back in.
Yeah.
And this one is 100% one barrel.
This
bonkers.
This is wonderful.
We walk into a lot of breweries and you see a cellar program, which is good, but you've got 5 different barrels aging of the same barrels aging the same beer, and they're going to blend it together to create this other thing that'll go out. to get something that's this right on out of one barrel, that's
It's a single barrel. You need
single
to
barrel.
single barrel. You need to implement that in the Sharpie writing that you put on the outside, for labeling.
There were two other barrels when we did this. There were two rum barrels, and it was the first time I ever done rum barrels. And so they were a little different. And so adding some beer, but I blended that one back. But this one was the only bourbon one we did from that blend.
Wow.
I was like, where you touched it.
Yeah.
And again, kind of forgot about it. But I'm happy I did.
yeah, it's one of those happy accidents.
This is terrific.
Yeah, this is drinking so nice, and we talk as beer drinkers about trying to get your beer up to temperature, especially drinking something like this because it comes out of the tap or it comes out of the fridge, and it's 36, 38, or 40 degrees. Yep. So we're doing this. We've done this a bunch on camera, where it's like this beer needs to cool or warm up. It needs to get away from
But this
cold.
came out of the bottle right at the ideal temp.
Yeah. Cellar temp, man, that's great.
It's a miracle of good brewing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the
And good
English
storage. Yeah.
The warm beer.
Right? Well, a beer like this has to get up to 50 or 55 degrees before you can taste it.
Well, I'm going to say it'd be a waste of this beer to drink it in.
Right.
It's not Miller Lite for the love of God.
You want to sip on it. You want those flavors kind of coat
Right.
your tongue and really.
Right.
Honestly, every time you just said raisin, and it kind of made me start thinking about like chocolate covered raisins, drinking it. So as you're going through your taste buds, they want to explore. They want to go around
Yes.
everything. So.
It's so much fun to do that, and that's one of the reasons why we talked just a second ago. I said I won't judge a beer till I get to the bottom of the glass because it changes so much as it warms, and it changes so much as my tongue gets used to those flavors. That's why going through and drinking a flight, I'm gonna go on my own rant right now. That's why flights are dumb. Flights are a terrible way to taste beer, because you drink 4 ounces of one beer, and then you drink 4 ounces of the next beer, and you can't taste it because you're still tasting the first one. Then you get to 4 ounces of the third beer, and you can't taste anything anymore because your palate's so mixed up. I get why people get flights, but it's not a good way to taste beer.
Hey, if I go to a brewery, I'm usually ordering half pints if I want to
Yes.
try things. Right?
Correct.
And that's
Give yourself some time with it.
we offer half pints here, and we had the same idea with our flights. Obviously, we're a brewery.
Everybody has to do.
Gonna
You have to do flights. It doesn't matter.
So we
doesn't
do-
matter whether I think about it, what I think about it. I have to offer them.
Maybe like our idea is we have 4 6-ounce pours. So
Oh, that's fine.
you get a little bit more of like it's not quite a half, it's a third of
Yeah,
a
yeah.
glass or whatever. But you're right. I don't need this much beer. That's a
Right.
But it's nice that we can be able to give people the option. And same with our bartenders. When they come up and they have the flight, they put it in an order like we think
You should drink it this way. Correct. I used to do that all the time. That was the only way. I put it together this way for you. Start from this end and work that way, because otherwise you're going to mess your palate up.
Palate fatigue.
Yeah,
happens.
it's a real thing.
When I get a flight, I just pour them all in one glass.
Oh, there you go.
That's better. That's actually a better way.
Especially the IPAs.
It's a little more.
So those back in-
Yeah, it's a little, a little more economical that way. You don't have to, sort things out so much.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really happy I was able to open this with you guys.
This is fun. Thank you
is
for
a
opening
huge,
this.
This is a huge treat.
This is
a huge treat.
I can't wait to see what everybody else thinks about it.
Yeah, this is fun. I can't wait for everybody else to get to experience this beer. This is really, really nice.
Well, I hope we continue to do beers like this. Barrels are a big risk, but
absolutely.
Yes.
And there's every chance that something goes in one of these and it doesn't come out.
I sometimes cry at night thinking
Yeah.
about the beers I've had to pour away. But
Yeah.
we're not going to send out that beer.
Right. And that's also very
Just put a cork in it and roll it over to my house. I'll somehow choke it down.
Oh man.
Alrighty, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should
Cheers.
call this one a day.
So damn lucky. See you next time.